a world where most connections are visual or verbal, Love in Braille tells the story of Eli, a blind teenager, and Mira, a hearing-impaired girl. They fall in love using a language beyond words, through touch, vibration, shared silence, and a growing bond that teaches us the true meaning of connection. Eli had never seen a sunrise, but he knew the way morning light felt, warm, slow, like fingers brushing across his face. With his cane tapping gently against the sidewalk, he moved through the world by sound, by texture, by memory. Every day, the park greeted him with rustling leaves and the soft steps of strangers. But today, it gave him something different. Mira sat on her usual bench, sketching the way she always did, pencil gliding over paper, capturing emotions she couldn't hear. She liked the stillness, the hum of life without words. Her headphones were off, letting her sink into the silence she knew too well. Their worlds collided, literally, when Eli's cane brushed against Mira's sketchbook. Startled, Mira turned, her eyes meeting the soft confusion on his face. He froze, then stepped back, apologizing instinctively to a silence he didn't yet understand. She smiled, even though he couldn't see it. Curiosity bloomed. How do two people fall in love when one can't see and the other can't hear? How do you connect when your senses betray you? That was the question neither of them knew they were about to answer. They kept meeting by accident, or maybe not. Mira started coming earlier to the park. Eli unknowingly adjusted his route. Each day brought a new awkward moment, a dropped pencil, a misplaced book, a gentle nod, or a puzzled smile. Neither could speak the other's language, but something deeper was speaking for them. Eli noticed the silence around Mira, not just the absence of words, a true silence, one that felt different. He spoke once. "I'm Eli," but she didn't respond. Her eyes blinked slowly, politely. That's when he realized she hadn't heard him, not even a whisper. She, in turn, realized his eyes never locked with hers. She waved, but he didn't wave back. She signed her name, Mira, in the air, a gesture that vanished into invisibility. Their first real exchange came when Mira placed a textured maple leaf into Eli's palm. He ran his fingers over the veins, then smiled. From that day, they began leaving objects for each other. Eli left a poem written in Braille. Mira responded with a charcoal sketch of a boy standing in a garden of sounds. They were strangers who didn't speak, but already they were listening in ways others couldn't understand. Their hands became their voices. On chilly mornings, Mira would greet Eli by pressing her fingers into his palm, 3 soft taps that meant, "I'm here." He'd respond by tracing a small circle on her wrist, "Happy to see you." It wasn't a code they were taught. They made it up, one gesture at a time. Mira brought a small speaker one afternoon. She played soft, rhythmic beats that pulsed like a heartbeat. Eli touched it, feeling the vibration, letting the sound move through his skin. Music without melody, words without letters. Mira watched him, her eyes shining, finally sharing something of her world. Eli taught Mira Braille through touch. At first, her fingers stumbled over the dots, but slowly they danced. She read his messages: sky, laugh, home. They shared stories built from symbols and touch, a language stitched together from silence and texture. One afternoon, Mira reached out and touched Eli's face. Her fingers traced his eyebrows, the curve of his jaw, the shape of his mouth. He didn't flinch. Her hands whispered what words couldn't: "I want to know you." And in that fragile moment, they both understood something rare, that love wasn't made of sound or sight. It was made of presence. The world, as always, had opinions. Mira's parents watched with worry. "He can't even hear you," her mother whispered one night, thinking Mira wouldn't read her lips. "He lives in darkness," said her father. "How can he understand what you need?" Mira didn't answer, because how could she explain a love without noise? Eli, too, felt the distance creeping in. One afternoon, he arrived at the park to find Mira gone, a note left behind. "I'm sorry. It's hard when no one else understands." He stood there, Braille letter in hand, heart sinking. The bench felt colder without her presence. For days, silence stretched between them. Not the warm, intentional kind, but the aching one. Eli questioned everything. Was this real? Was he just a story to Mira, a beautiful idea? He remembered her hand on his face and wondered if that moment had lied to him. Mira stayed away, battling guilt and confusion. Her world was already hard to navigate. School, family, loneliness. Loving Eli added another weight, one her parents called impossible. But her heart disagreed. The silence wasn't peaceful anymore. It hurt. It screamed in the quietest ways, reminding both of them what they were missing. Not sound or sight, but each other. The letter arrived folded in four, soft at the edges like it had been carried for days. Mira ran her fingers across the raised dots, decoding each word as if Eli were whispering directly into her heart. "I miss the way you say everything without speaking. I miss your silence. I miss your hands." She held the paper to her chest, feeling its quiet weight. Eli had signed it with a single word, in Braille: "Stay." That afternoon, she sat back on the bench, their bench, sketchbook in hand, nerves flickering like candlelight. When Eli approached, guided by memory and hope, she stood and placed something in his palm. A patch of thick fabric. He touched the stitching, Braille again. "I hear you in silence," it said. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. He pressed her fingers with 3 soft taps. "I'm here." She drew a slow circle on his wrist. "Me too." They sat together, not saying anything, not needing to. The world around them kept rushing, talking, seeing, hearing. But they had found a stillness that belonged only to them. Love didn't need to shout. It just needed someone willing to listen with their heart and speak with their soul. Time moved on, but their rhythm never changed. Each day they met under their tree, where winter felt warm and silence felt full. Mira would tap poetry onto Eli's hand. Eli would respond with soft pressure and unspoken smiles. They laughed, not always with sound, but always with meaning. They no longer needed explanations. When Mira was sad, Eli would know by the way her hands hesitated. When Eli was anxious, Mira would press her palm to his. Steady, grounding. Their language was invisible, but it stitched their lives together like thread through cloth. The world still stared. People asked questions. How do they even talk? What's the point if they can't understand each other? But the questions no longer mattered, because love, real love, isn't built on ease or convenience. It's built on effort, on patience, on showing up even when words fail. As the screen fades to black, their story lingers, a gentle reminder that connection doesn't need sight or sound. It just needs 2 hearts willing to reach out and say, "I feel you." If this story moved you, like and subscribe for more soul-deep storytelling, because sometimes the loudest love is the one that speaks without a single word.
You know, a soft string subtle and beaming so blue. We know a soft string subtle and beaming so compliments is capturing a love story that transcends sight and sight.